Good afternoon. My name is Joe Roboski and I'm with the CCC company, here to talk about the Cold Catch Cooler. You know, for many of us, we think of companies and we think where they began, and if that's Coca-Cola and its humble beginnings out with using sugar cane with a classic syrup to create a delicious drink, or looking at the Model T and how Henry Ford used his little garage to make one of the most innovative products. They all start somewhere special, but they grow into something truly unique. And I think at the Cold Catch Cooler, we're here to offer that very same design. For those who don't know me, my name is Joe Roboski. I've been the CEO and founder of this company since 2001. And a big focus of ours is not just offering a product, but more so offering a lifestyle. I think one thing people have understood with us over time is that we are here not just in the beginning, not just at the finish line, but we're there all the way through. We want to make sure with the Cold Catch, you're fully comfortable with the products you're purchasing. So with that, I have a quick little presentation I want to run through, showing you some of the aspects of this product, but also how they can benefit you and your company. The Cold Catch Cooler really is going to be something that you will not see on the market. It's not a Pelican, it's not a Yeti, it's not a Coleman. Our product is a 5 dynamic design. So when people hear that, they're thinking of, is that a different color paint on that cooler? Is that going to be an extra wheel? Nope, we want to go for something that is truly effective in the outdoor world. For us, the inspiration really came from looking at everyday trips that we were taking as fishermen and as explorers of the great outdoors. And for me personally, it was always the issue of not having an easy way to be able to keep my fish alive by the time I got back to camp. And as we go to this next slide here, it's going to show you that as a young boy, I really loved fishing, and I always kind of had a knack for it. I remember my grandpa would always take me up north. We'd go up to Marquette each year, and each year we'd have that same problem that we'd catch 1, 2, 3 trout. But what do we do with them? We didn't bring our pan to fry them right there by the river. We sure as crap weren't going to be taking them 4 miles back in a bag and have them spoiled. So it was that kind of common issue of what if we could? And as time went on, I would always think that, what could I do if I was able to preserve these fish? And that's when I started thinking about, okay, a DC compressor, having something that's easy, compact, but effective for storing things for longer periods of time. And from there, I started thinking about, okay, well, a mini live well. I've always wanted to have one with me when I'm out on a smaller bank or a mini inland lake, but I don't have my whole boat with me. That was another feature. And then, of course, now in a technology age, it's that question of, I don't have enough power on my phone, or, hey, I need to recharge, my portable charger. That's why we've created lithium-ion batteries that are exchangeable with a 12-hour period with a 4-hour charge time. These 2 packs come and offer a consistent and truly effective method that you can use regardless of where you are. On top of that, you're going to have a motorized water pump that can go up to 35 psi and a 3x3 expandable cutting board. That to me was a real game changer, having a dad who knew how to cook a great trout, having a mom who always loved to make sure she had a salad on the side, and having this as an option to do prep was really a big thing for us. I think going forward, a big aspect that you're going to see here, looking at the product itself, is this design is really made for not only effectability, but really portability. We want to make sure that you don't feel you're clearing out your whole trunk just for our product. We want to feel like you have an extra 3 feet because you have our product. As you see here, you're going to see a very convenient and sleek design that's going to be the mini live well that holds up to about 2 gallons of water. You're going to have that cutting board, as I said, is 3x3, along with those rechargeable ports that offer small general power for small generators, but long-term for lithium and basic charge up to 12 volts. On top of that, you will have that water pump that's great for filtration of water when you're out off the grid, or if you just need something to wash your feet off after a day playing some, volleyball on the beach. I really appreciate that at the Cold Catch Cooler, we're not just focused on one specific demographic. We're focused on a large market. So as I say that, I refer to Michigan's fishing and wildlife market that is, as you can see from our numbers, one of the largest in grossing revenue for the state, but that really gave us a window that we felt that we could go through and really access. Our general markets, are going to be from ages of 18, but all the way up to 65, more for middle class to lower income families, but that's going to be specifically for pricing options that are affordable to them. So thankfully, at our primary prospect that we have kind of approached is Cabela's. Cabela's is one of the largest franchises in our area and one that we have always stuck closely with. As a young age, beyond going on those trips with my grandpa, we always stopped along at Cabela's. That was kind of that routine. So to have a company that I felt comfortable with, but I also really felt that aligned to ours, made things so much easier to go forward. We really have this partnership set up to create an experience for the customer that is not just shopping, but you feel like you're being catered to, you feel like you're being cared for. And that's what I really appreciate here. As you see this slide, Cabela's has several parallels with our company, and on top of that, they have the ability to market to reaches that we can't. But on top of that, they're really going to be able to provide an experience that's hands-on, like we would want to provide to all of our guests. I think one thing going forward is that we want to be able to show that this partnership is not just to make profit as much as every business is. We really want to instill values in our customers, but hopefully in the youth, teaching the importance of being able to be sustainable outdoors, being able to use reliable resources, being able to use things that are durable. Because I think being in the great outdoors is a blessing of its own, but being able to truly thrive out there and not just survive, that's the beauty of the 21st century. And that's really what this Cold Catch offers. You'll see here too a few breakdowns of Cabela's. It's going to be their market research, but on top of that, it's going to be their market reach, their reliability, and really just their visibility in the market itself. A common thing that many people talk about, especially when it comes to new products on the market, is what's the objection? What's the catch? Oftentimes, we find our biggest issue tapping into new markets is really just our notoriety. How are we familiar with other companies? How do people know us? Folks, I'm not going to lie, we're a newer company, but that's where I take conviction in the product that we've designed. We're not here just selling you one thing. We're here selling you a product that's going to last you. Every product that we sell has a 20-year warranty with a 60-day return policy for a full refund. Here you're going to see some of the common objections, which is going to be, we've never heard of you before. We already have cooler brands. We don't know if this is the time for us. Oftentimes, these objections are simple questions that people have, but in reality, the answer is all the same. People are going to want to buy something that's quality. My grandpa used to always say, cheap isn't quality and quality isn't cheap. That's exactly what the Cold Catch Cooler is. It's a product that offers a quality price tag for something that will last you for generations. And this breakdown is just going to show you there how we plan to overcome these objections just to get us that much closer to the sale. That's the thing I really take pride in myself, because I hope every prospect we speak to understands that this is not something that we're just trying to sell you on. This is just something where we want to show you our side, because I think you'll make that decision yourself, seeing the opportunity that it has. I really think in closing, that question of technique closing is a big thing. How are you going to get the next prospect down the pipeline? You want to keep that pipeline running. A great professor of mine once, not once, but always would say, you got to keep that pipeline running. And from that, I went back to this idea of, show, don't tell. And that's really what we do at the CCC company. Our design is not only going to be something that's proven to last, but it speaks for itself. You're going to see here at our profit numbers not only show a consistent 8-month period, but on top of that, we have a strong response from the markets that we go into that show appreciation for the aspects of this product, but also how we can really distribute that throughout this local region, but hopefully across the state. So really, to finish up in closing, we stand by our product because we know what it's made of, and we know who made it, how they made it, and what it's made to do. So with that said, I think we want to go forward, start a pilot inventory for you, something that you can check to see the numbers, see what a purchase looks like in the first 8 months. I really know you're going to be satisfied with our product. And of course, if you have questions, concerns along the way, reach out to me, call me on my direct line. But in closing, I want you to know that we're here start to finish, and so is our product. And any time that we can show that that product's going to go the extra mile, we will. But I think all you got to do is take it up north for a week, go for some trout, go for some walleye, really put it to the test. And what you'll see is it's not going to let you down. You're going to be able to kick back at the end of the day, have that fish in the DC compressor, wash your vegetables down with the water hose, store the extra leftovers in the compressor compartment, and then have a few fish in the mini well for tomorrow's early fishing. We have something that's going to really blow your socks off, and I'm so excited for you to become a part of this company. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Yeah! Whoa! Oh my God, it's the best presentation.
I've ever seen.